Right, so usually I don't do videos like this. I usually do it once a week, but since this trailer came out, I didn't want to be the guy who waited a week to do a little bit of an analysis on the trailer. Just saying this video isn't going to be heavily edited like the usual video. That's intended to be for the weekly video. This is just a little input video on something that's happened recently that I want to, interact with, something I want to do. A little tidbit video. So, a few days ago, the Superman trailer got released. We'll look at it here on YouTube. It was released, 3 days ago, at least for me, at this point in time. And, I'm going to like it, because honestly, I have already watched it. I already know what's in it, but I wanted to do a video where I watch it in 0.5 speed, because I know that a lot of people usually do that to catch details. I'm not great at catching details as soon as they zoom by, so watching it in 0.5 helps me, see what's going on and all that. So it's not a reaction. You can watch along with me if you want. I'm probably going to watch the whole trailer in full anyway. We'll press play. Oh, full screen. Ooh.
Are you being serious right now?
Yeah.
You'd let me interview you.
I do like the actress that they picked for Lois Lane. Sure. Feels like Lois Lane. People have pointed out that, I want to see what was on her back wall there, if there's anything. All I can see is that framed picture that just says Lois in handwriting, which is kind of weird but cute. People have pointed out that Superman, he swaps audio tone essentially, right? So as Clark Kent, he's all soft voiced and all that. And it looks like she's got a yin yang necklace. I can't.
Ready.
Is this high definition? Oh, I can get up to 4K. Okay, why am I not doing that? All right.
Ready.
It looked like a dice, like a flattened, two-dimensional, three-dimensional dice. I don't know how to explain it. It's like a hexagon.
Let's do it, Cronkite.
I'm gonna Google what a Cronkite is.
Superman.
She says Superman, and he leans forward, and he's just
Miss Lane.
completely changes tone, and I like that because it helps Superman kind of separate himself from being Clark Kent and Superman, obviously, but you never really think about that because in the comic books you just go, oh yes, they don't know he's him because, he's dressed up as Clark Kent or whatever, or he's dressed up as Superman. And so him being able to show that he can change audibly between this, hi, I'm Clark Kent, I'm here for my job proposal at the Daily Bugle, to I'm Superman, I saved the city, or something like that. It's pretty neat and impressive by the actor. We've got an alien ship.
Recently, you've come under a lot of fire for what some might.
We've got a stag building in the back. Don't remember if that's DC related, but I'll look it up. Actually, you know what? I could do that now. I'm in the middle of watching the video. What am I saying? Stag DC. Simon Stagg. He's the antagonist to the superhero Metamorpho. We do see Metamorpho in the trailer, so yeah, there's a thing right here talking about. You know what? Never mind. And one thing to note there is that originally when that scene was in a previous trailer and he got hit in the back of the head with a can, Superman blinked, which kind of implied that he obviously felt it. And I think I did like it that he blinked because it wasn't like a blink of pain, it was like a blink of acknowledgement. But if I were in this position, I have all these people yelling at me and I'm meant to be the symbol of hope, but they're all angry at me. I would probably blink in pain as well, knowing that they're trying to attack me. But they removed that, so he's just kind of deadpanned walking. I don't know about that change, but it's not entirely necessarily bad.
Today, the Secretary of Defense said he was going to look into your actions.
This is another riff that they're about to play on. I'll let it play through.
That's funny.
My actions? I stopped a war.
Yeah, so Superman, usually they don't go too far into this. They just say that he's a good person. He does good things. But in this case, I like it because it shows that Superman doesn't really care about what the government says. He just doesn't want people to die. He's there to protect people. It doesn't matter what country they're from. It doesn't matter what nationality they are. It doesn't matter what their ideals are. If someone's going to get shot with a bullet, he wants to be the person to stop that bullet, So if the government's hey, stopping us from taking over this border or something like that against these people, although realistically, from what I can tell in this picture, half these people look like protesters, but then occasionally you see a few of them that look like they have weaponry of some kind. So it does make sense for him to want to stop the American military on the left because they're all soldiers, right? But then half the people on the right aren't even there to fight. For the American soldiers to be shooting at them, they're like, it's technically shooting innocents. So for Superman to drop in, it makes sense. Although I think I just saw someone throw a fucking shovel. There's that guy there who just dropped one. That's a pitchfork. He threw a pitchfork at the military. Is that an M9 round? I don't know what an M9 round is, but it sounds like something you can get hit by with a tank. Also, when I did watch this before, this clearly isn't in the same place as that tank just shot at, right? It's implied that he's getting hit by this tank in this scene. But if it isn't immediately obvious, there's an office building behind him, and that's clearly not in that desert that he was just in. There is another point where he's flying up, another scene where there's this big hulking character like shooting a laser through a building, and so I'm assuming that this is all taking place within that little amount of time. We have the office. We've already got Lois Lane. We've got Jimmy Olsen. I'm assuming that's Cat Brandt. I don't know that many Superman characters that are within the office. Outside of that, I'm not able to immediately recognize anyone else, but it does look like a nice, bright office space.
Not maybe. I did.
In effect,
And then here we have our first look at, well, we can see it better later on, but it's the android lady that usually follows around Lex Luthor. And in this case, she's a nanobot lady, which I'm not against. As long as she's more of like a cyborg lady or like just an outright robot lady, it makes sense. And
legally,
from what we know, this is Ultraman. Because, you know, there's a big U on his chest. It's just that in the comic books, usually Ultraman is from an alternate dimension, an alternate Earth, and he's usually Superman. He's just an evil Superman. I'm trying to tell... Like, I know that this isn't going to be the same actor in both the scenes, because he's wearing a mask. I'm just wondering if this is a body double, like if that is an alternate universe Superman, or if they've done something that's in the same universe, like it's just a dude that's been given Kryptonian powers, or maybe it's Zod, and he's named himself Ultraman, or I don't even know how to explain it. I just feel like it's very different from Ultraman's costume design, because Ultraman's usually designed as Superman, but with a U on his chest, but I like this. I like this design.
country.
This is how you're gonna be?
I'm not the one being interviewed, Superman.
Concrete's gonna hurt.
Did you?
And I'm not against the actor they picked for Lex Luthor, but I've just always thought about Lex Luthor being like an older man who's bald. But I guess since, again, this is meant to be more along, not an origin movie, but like, you know, it's like an early years of Superman movie. It makes sense for Lex Luthor to be, you know, like younger. I just always feel like a good Lex Luthor would look old. except for that one. The beard really threw me off. He looked like a bikey, and having a bikey Lex Luthor was not what I was expecting. Not a bad version of Lex Luthor, but it was just doesn't feel like Lex Luthor some of the times.
Assault with the president.
No.
You seemingly acting as a representative of
I
the
wasn't
United States.
representing
will
anybody
cause war.
except...
Also, he completely missed this building. He should have caught that shit. I'm assuming that was the building that he was protecting, that got like shot with lasers and all that. Like in Man of Steel, they went like full city destruction, but in this movie, it looks like it's like kind of kept down. It's still city destruction, but it's not as bad as what happened in Man of Steel, because Superman would still be doing his best not to try and cause this kind of destruction. He's still fighting to try and... Well, at least I'm assuming that this Superman's not trying to destroy the area around him. Also, even if he does catch that, I know that it's going to be one of those moments where he's like, and he's like pushing up the whole building. But realistically, if you were going to try and catch that like right in the middle, it's just going to fold in half like a piece of paper on top of him. Like, realistically, a superhero can't catch a building like that. I'm just rambling. I've always wanted to make that point whenever a building's falling and someone catches it. It doesn't make sense.
Doing good.
I would question myself in the same.
Alright, we've got this big, bulky guy who can shoot lasers out of his eyes, but if we look into the reflection of the building, it also still looks like the metal bulky guy, but you can see that it's like 2 points of origin for the lasers. It's coming from his eyes, so this person is potentially Kryptonian, a Kryptonian clone, and maybe like an early version of Doomsday is in that suit. I'm not entirely certain. It could be that, or it's a placeholder.
Situation and consider the consequences.
People were going to die.
Although I will point out is that it does have a similar look to the drones that Superman has in his fortress. So it could be that drone that's meant to have all of Superman's powers, that's meant to take place of Superman if anything happens, or Lex Luthor has used the drone technology that they'll get to the point where Lex is in the Fortress of Solitude, but he probably took the technology from out of there and maybe made one if isn't already from the Fortress of Solitude. I love all the bright colors in this movie because Man of Steel, I do still like Man of Steel, but Superman's always been, again, as I've said in previous videos, bright and hopeful. You know, he's meant to be colorful. He's meant to be good. Like with Batman, he's still a good character, but he's meant to strike fear. He's meant to be a legend, like in the darkness and all that. So that's why everything Batman related is dark. But Superman should be a big, bright sea with all these colors. So that's why I really like the picture they're going for. One thing I don't like is Superman with underwear. That's my only nitpick about his entire costume, is that he's wearing underwear. I prefer Superman costumes that have like the red integrated into like the bodysuit, or maybe the belt's a bit red in some places. I've never entirely liked the idea of Superman just wearing underwear.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, so we're back here at the building where the guy shot the laser through. I think this might be the Daily Bugle, because it's got all these orange accents and office tables and all that. And I wouldn't be surprised if Lois is meant to be in the back here, just having seen Superman protect her from this big bulking like Hulk guy. Although we do see in another shot where the big bulking Hulk guy is shooting at a building, and I don't know if it's meant to be the Daily Bugle watching that happen at the same time. It could be maybe within the same area. I don't know.
Eyes up here.
Nope, it's definitely not the Daily Bugle. It's got a giant V shape on the front of it. I think there was some controversy over... Oh yeah, it is Lord. Yeah, Lord Tech is in universe. Okay, never mind. There was some controversy over the logo, because everyone said like, oh, it looks like a J mixed with a G. Why would James Gunn put his own like thing in there? I'm like, he probably wouldn't, and even if he did, I wouldn't really care. Here we see Krypto dragging Superman to the Fortress of Solitude. I'm assuming that the Fortress of Solitude isn't just out all the time. I'm assuming it's hidden, and that it's only ever like used when Superman needs it. Like he always lives in an apartment or something like that. He's not trying to live in the Fortress of Solitude, and so it always hides under the ground. But whenever he needs it, like in this case, this is probably after Superman got his ass handed to him and he was like put in the middle of the Antarctic, and Krypto the Superdog's dragging him over to the Fortress of Solitude to get him help. I'm assuming that this is a way for Lex to find where it is, because it's not like out and about. It's always hidden. And so maybe he hurt Superman and was expecting him to fly back to somewhere where he can be healed. Because now, obviously, we have the nanobot lady from LexCorp, and I'm assuming that's Lex Luthor standing next to him. Also, that is cool as hell. But also, this texture makes me scared. Also, who is that? It looks like it could be Cat Grant, because why is she overly bougie with the fluffy boots and everything? We got Krypto the Superdog protecting the ravaged, destroyed robots. What's going on back here? Oh, I didn't mean to do that. It looks like back there, I'm assuming that's Ultraman fighting... Yeah, that is Ultraman. You can see the U there. It's Ultraman probably beating on a already crippled Superman, which is wild. He got home to try and relax, and he came at him. He's like, "Not yet. I'm not done with you." Obviously, Lex is walking through all this. I'm assuming that's Cat Grant, unless that's Lois. Also, there's more droids flying around.
Choice.
And I love this Krypto going one-on-one with the robot lady. Also, this is like prisons. I don't know what the prisons are about, but it is later shown that Superman's kind of like crippled in there. We'll get to it and I'll explain it more.
Excellent.
I believe that this scene in the movie, or maybe it's just really tall. I believe the scene in the movie isn't taking place in a building. I believe that they're flying to some extent. Because why is Lois like grappling onto him? Like, I understand that she's probably meant to be shorter as a maybe she is shorter. It's just weird the way that he's holding it. It looks like they're meant to be flying in this spot. Also, I feel like that would make more sense for them to be flying in a spot in that scene because there's a big alien outside. He's not chilling in an apartment waiting for that thing to come for him. Also, speaking of the big alien, we should probably try and figure out what it is. Because that looks like Green Lantern holding some kind of space net with a whole bunch of pink coming out of it. Maybe... I want to say that Green Lantern... Like, maybe this is near the end of the film and something's detonating. I don't know. All I know is that's Green Lantern pulling some kind of big purpley mist stuff away.
What makes you who you are?
Also, what was that about? If we roll it back a little bit. He was like holding his face like he was either going to cry or he's probably going to cry or something. But then he just locks in. And he's like, give me a hug, Pops. But then that hug looks less like a, I really want to hug you kind of hug. And it's more of a, I'm going to talk to you after this kind of hug. And we have Mr. Terrific. I think that's a pretty good actor and a pretty good depiction of the character. I can't quite tell what these are, but that guy just got eviscerated.
Superman. He's not a man.
Also, I want to point out I'm making this video, and because of the whole like gimmick with my glasses, I'm wearing glasses in the middle of a dark room looking at a screen. This is really ineffective. Also, in this scene, we can see they have Metamorpho, I can't say his name right half the time. It's the guy who can make elements of his body, and he's being used to create kryptonite from one of his hands. He's obviously trying to keep it away from Superman, but it's to keep Superman locked in there, I'm guessing. But then in the other rooms, we just have these random characters. You got a ballerina lady, some dude on the left hand, I couldn't tell. These are probably the security officers. Yeah, LexCorp security officers or droids. I'm assuming they're actual people, though, that we just saw before getting absolutely murked by Mr. Terrific stuff. This is a very wonderful place for me to pause. I don't even think he got hit yet before he made that face. I'm assuming that all those people that were in there are people who sympathize with Superman, and so they're getting locked up for it by LexCorp for whatever reason. Then we got heroes here. We got Mr. Terrific chilling the hell out while flying. We got Hawk Girl. And they all seem to be a part of this this corporation, the one that we saw before, the Lord Tech Corporation, which makes me think maybe Mr. Terrific is sponsored technology. Mr. Terrific's just smart. He wouldn't be sponsored in using technology of theirs. All of them are just heroes that are under the kind of company label of it, or the corporate label of it. And then we have Green Lantern here, who, I'll admit, in this scene he looks great, but from that other scene where you get like a very clear like vision of his bowl cut, I hated it. I hated it so much. I hate the bowl cut. It's comic accurate, but I just hate that look on this actor. But I feel like this actor would have looked better with a cow flick. But that's my only gripe with that character, was just a haircut, man. And that was pretty dramatic. Who's laying on the floor? That's Mr. Terrific. He got his ass beat. Okay. Also, when I was watching this before, I noticed that Superman gets a haircut by that blade. So that thing could definitely hurt him if it were to have hit him. Which I don't know if that means that he's weak in this state, or whatever metal they have is like kryptonite infused or something. I don't know. Although he just freely bounces that one off the back of his hand like it's nothing.
Except...
And then we have this kind of like, I want to say that's like a prismarine kind of rock that's going up into the building. All I know is I can't figure out what the main villain is. You would think it's Lex Luthor, but there seems to be like an alien element. It's either Lex Luthor or Lord Tech's doing something weird. But then you have this like prismatic crystal coming out of the ocean in that other scene where Green Lantern's pulling some alien away or something like that. So I don't actually know what the main villain of this movie is.
That.
Also, he is in rage right now, but you can see in his right eye, it's like getting progressively more bloodshot, but I think that might just be because he's angry and not any kind of like superpower thing. Like usually sometimes Lex Luthor might give himself superpowers to beat the living hell out of Superman, but I don't think that's going to be the case in this movie.
I cleaned your boots. I'll go get them for you.
You gotta punch me in the face. Anyway. We saw a whole bunch of destruction. Obviously, it's meant to lead up to this scene. I love how this monster looks. He's really cute. He's just a big axolotl guy, but he's also terrifying with his, like, 3 rows of teeth. Now, this scene, a lot of people have been judging it because, obviously, the Green Lantern hand has come out from the ground to whack all those soldiers away and all that. But, a point to make is that people think that the Green Lantern construct should have had some kind of like light beam come directly out of the ring. Like the hand should have come out of the ring as well. But I'm on the side that says that constructs, like light constructs of Green Lanterns, can just be summoned. They've done it in the Lego games. They've done it in other genres of movie and cinema and all that. And they've done it, TV shows, I mean, and they've done it in the comic books as well. They don't necessarily have to construct it directly from their ring. The whole point is that they can control and create stuff with like hard light. And hard light doesn't just specifically come from their ring. Light is everywhere. So all you need to do is just harness that light that's around there to make a construct. Oh, my voice cracked. Ah! It makes sense for him to have just harnessed it. Not harnessed it. It would have made sense for him to just summon this out of the floor. That looks like it was probably Lex. So obviously Lord Tech Lord Tech is probably intended to be good, but is probably making a whole bunch of supervillain frame-ups for their heroes to fight the group that they have. And then LexCorp is probably entirely against aliens and maybe against superheroes. And Superman's just a completely random character who... Not random character, but like he's meant to be the oddity in the room because he doesn't align with anyone. He aligns with himself. And it's putting a threat to this company because he's starting to take out the threats that they're meant to be making for their heroes. And LexCorp just doesn't like him because they're alien racist. You got a Superman plush that's meant to be that Superman. So obviously Superman's been around long enough for him to get plushies made of him. Then we have obviously Jimmy Olsen smacking Clark with a newspaper. It's funny to me to think about that because Superman's like, oh, that hurt. Oh, that hurt. Oh, and then Jimmy's like, Clark, that was like 11 pieces of paper. My swing ain't that good. Also, we have this woman who's just taking a selfie while this man probably slaughters innocents. Wild, but probably accurate for modern day. I'm going to be real with you. People would do that. This looks like an alien area. So I'm assuming that this is the Phantom Realm. Maybe it's the Phantom Realm. That's like got some weird... It looks like technology, prismarine shards, and the Phantom Realm. And maybe the Phantom Realm's breaking into reality? Oh, wait, this could be underwater. That is probably underwater. Okay, that's not underwater, is it? It doesn't look like there's any bubbles. Or like anything. It looks too fluid to be water. It's like that's probably a Phantom Zone. But it could be... I'm really torn between this being water and a Phantom Zone right now. And I'm hopefully going to be going and seeing it as soon as it comes out. Wait, when did it come out? Oh, July. Okay, yeah. Other than that, that's a trailer. So, I want to try and this off quickly because I've been recording for way longer, and the way I transfer my files, this is going to be a pain. From what I can see, I like it. I do like the film. I'm definitely going to try and watch it as soon as it comes out. I still haven't watched Thunderbolts either. I'm going to get around to it, and I'll probably do a little movie review on it. But from what I can tell, I like this movie. Again, my only gripes with it is the underwear that Superman wears. Because I don't like Superman with underwear. It works in the comic books most of the time because you never really see it as underwear, but you see it in live action and it's underwear. He's just wearing underwear. Just give him red trimming or like some kind of like color thing on the jumpsuit that he's wearing. Not jumpsuit, the full suit he's wearing to indicate that there's some kind of change pattern there. Don't put him in underwear. It feels weird. Other than that, I like the rest of the suit. The rest of the suit looked cool. And Green Lantern's hair is the only other nitpick I have. I think that's just because it's too comic accurate with the bowl cut. I would have liked him with a little cow flick, but it's not bad. I can live with him having a different haircut, and I can live with the underwear. It's a personal peeve. Again, not my upload intention for the week. This is just a random upload that I wanted to catch this trailer on. Yeah, I'm excited for the movie. I think I'll go see it. I might do a review on it. Other than that, I should probably plug myself real quick. If you like this little trailer analysis video that I put together quickly, please feel free to subscribe. I usually upload only once a week. Sometimes I might do 2, depending on if something feels like I need to do a video on it immediately, like this. And while you're down there subscribing, you might as well hit the like button too, as that helps push the video to other people. Although I don't really care if this video doesn't get pushed. This was just something I wanted to put out there. And again, not sponsored. It'd be incredibly weird if I was sponsored in this.